children, I hope you all are safe and well at your place. So in today's literature class, we will do drama. And your first drama is The Merchant of Venice. Merchant of Venice, written by William Shakespeare. Do you know who was William Shakespeare? Have you ever heard about him? I hope maybe one of you have heard about his name. William Shakespeare was one of the most prominent writers of English literature. He had written numerous poems, sonnets, dramas, short stories and novels. So, before we go to the drama itself, we first need to know who the writer was, what kind of writer he was, what kind of play it is, and then we will go to the text. Alright? So, William Shakespeare, we don't know much about his childhood, but when the researchers were searching about him, they were doing research on him, some of them said that there was no one with the name called William Shakespeare. But after much hard work, they found out that no, there was a person whose name was William Shakespeare. He wrote this play, and he himself didn't wrote anything, but the thing was that he imagined, he conceptualized, but he was greatly inspired by Marlowe, Christopher Marlowe. And we don't know much about Shakespeare's childhood. We know very little. It's like just we know that he was born on Stanford-on-Avon, which is in New York, London. He went to a grammar school. His father was a farmer and he has to drop out from the school because of his father's debt. His father faced loss in his business. To pay out the debts, he dropped out from the school. And after that, he got married and moved to London to try his luck on stage. At first, he started as a stage actor and then slowly he started writing plays. Robert Greene, who was one of the most prominent writers of that age, he criticized his plays very much, saying that they are insane, they are absurd, they are of no use. But Shakespeare didn't pay any attention towards that and he continued writing. After some time, his hard work paid off and his novels, his plays started getting famous. And you know, with fame, what comes? With fame, you get money, and with money, you get all the luxuries of life. In his olden days, he came back to his native place, Stanford, and there he bought a house and lived there till his death. And now, you know, Shakespeare used to write in 3 genres. First one was tragedy. He used to write in 3 genres. First one was tragedy. Second one was comic or you can say comedy. And tragedy or you can say tragic. And third one was history or you can say historic, as we commonly say this, okay? So, tragic means something that ends on a sad note. Ends on a sad note. That is tragedy. Tragedy means something that ends on a sad note. Shakespeare's one of the most famous tragedy was Macbeth. Hamlet. Then Henry V, and so on. There are lots of tragedies. Comedy means something that ends on a happy note. Ends on a happy note. He is one of the most famous comic play was All's Well. Instead of this, you can say the taming of the shrew. The taming of the shrew. Then comedy of errors. The comedy of errors. And next is historic. Historic play is something that is related to history. This historic play, it was totally, or you can say 80% was his imagination, 20% what he had heard from the people. He used to take a character, he used to take up a person from the royal family, researched about him and write about him. 80% was totally based on his imagination. For historic plays, you can say Antonio and Cleopatra. So, Shakespeare used to write in 3 genres. These are the 3 genres where he used to write: tragedy, comedy and history. And one more thing, we have always heard that good always triumphs, good is very good, evils are not good, they always lose. But no, Shakespeare, what he did in his plays, in his dramas, he treated both of them equally, good and bad. They both were equal. He said that you will not value the good until and unless you are in a bad situation. So his hero, that is his protagonist, and his villain, that is his antagonist, they both were similar and equal. Okay. So in Merchant of Venice, we have many characters, but these are the 4 main characters of our play. Antonio. Who was Antonio? He was a kind-hearted, rich merchant of Venice. Okay. Then Bassanio. You know who was Bassanio? Bassanio was his best friend, Antonio's best friend, as well as Antonio's cousin. And Bassanio was also as rich as Antonio, but due to his luxurious life, his over expenditure, he lost all his money, and now whenever he was in need of money, he always borrowed money from his best friend and cousin Antonio. Okay, so he was a cousin, kinsman, you can say. Kinsman means cousin. And he used to love living a luxurious life. Next was Shylock. Shylock, he is the antagonist of our play, and this is the protagonist of our play. Shylock, he was a Jew. He hated Antonio like anything. There were many reasons for that, but the most important reason was that, first of all, Antonio was a Christian and he was a Jew. Secondly, Antonio used to lend money without interest, and Shylock used to lend money on high interest. So he was a cunning, sly Jew and a moneylender. Now we have Portia. Portia was the heroine of our play. Why? Portia was one of the most prominent, most strongest women characters of Shakespeare, because she was the lady who at the time of need could think at that time. Means whenever there is some problem, whenever there is some danger, whenever there is any kind of situation when Bassanio needed help, she was always there for him. Portia, she was a lady who used to live in Belmont. Her father died, leaving her an immense amount of wealth. Though she was all alone, she looked after the whole property of her father as well as herself very well. So, she was the heroine of our play. And a rich heiress of Belmont. Okay? Children, listen very carefully. Whenever you are doing a drama, a story, a poem, or whatever literary piece you are reading, you should always know the writer, what kind of writer he was, what is the main character or the main theme of that play or the poem or the novel, whatever you are reading. At first you should go through it internally and then you should go to the text, because until and unless you know all these things clearly, you cannot relate with the text. Once you know the characters, you know what kind of persons they were, so while reading the text, you will be easily relating with the characters. Okay? So thank you for today. In next class, we will go to